Nursing pay and broke nurses. I have a couple of examples here and we'll go through each one of them.
As a broke nurse, I'm coming into this career field with the trap mentality. You gotta have an exit strategy because it's not forever. And if you're gonna stay for a while, you gotta have ways that you can wash your money or investments. It's not the money that brought me to this career field, but it's the threshold, the flexibility, and all the possibilities. If they need nurses on Mars, guess what? You got a job. AI is not going to be able to take your job. You look at the list.
I agree with this fella. Honestly, nursing is one of those things that you can just get a degree and guarantee a good salary, above average salary or whatever you want to call it. And also, like you can pinpoint a spot in the US map and you will have a job nowhere, no matter where you go. And that's just a fact. Like it's going to guarantee a good living. And if you're smart with your money, you can just put it on your investments and actually just do good. And there are B, C, you have D options so too. Like you can go back to school, go into management, and just advance your career. And the more letters you have on your name, it's going to translate to more money. That's just a fact in the medical field in general, not only in nursing. So I think this guy is pretty much on spot with what he's saying.
Kids can't hold back tears while talking about her bills, despite she and her husband making good money.
We both have good jobs. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse.
Her face is like, oh my god, this bitch is crazy.
Work full time. He works full time. We just got paid this past Friday, right? We paid the mortgage. Bought some groceries. Put some gas in the car. Guys, it is Tuesday. And we have like $200 or $300 to last.
I mean, I don't know what kind of income she has or where she lives or what the situation is, but having kids in a mortgage, yes, it translates to more expenses and things like that. But as a nurse, and if you have, let's say, a husband that makes average salary, you're probably making six figures right there. That's a six-figure household when you do the math, and it's doable to actually have a family on a six-figure household. Uh, so to this day, if you manage your money well, now if you are on debt and you have like new cars and you go on fancy vacations, you think you'll be buying things unnecessarily. Yeah, I don't think that money is gonna go far. So I don't know the situation, but I do think that some people have a spending problem and they have to budget and see where the money's going, you know. And crying on camera about, being a nurse, yes, some nurses are, struggling or whatever, but I don't think that's the case for everyone. And it doesn't have to be like that because, like I said, it puts you on a spot where you're making good money and above average salary, especially in the metro area. Like here in New York, you start at six figures as a new grad nurse. I think NYP just Presbyterian just negotiated the salary on the past strike that the nurses did, and they got bumped up to 120 something, almost 130,000 base salary with no differentials or overtime. So that's a pretty good salary, even here in New York. Believe it or not, as an individual, you making six figures, you belong to the less than 20% of the American population that makes above six-figure salary per year. And I'm talking about individuals. I'm not talking about household. Household is different because you're talking about two people, husband and wife. That's considered a household right there. So yeah, let's go on to the next one.
Why are so many of us broke? Look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why. And these are judge-free zones because hey, I have done at least 4 of these things in my nursing career. I'm telling y'all now, number 5 is probably gonna be the main one, but hey, let's see. Number 1, Starbucks before every single shift. Hey, look, I understand it's 5:45 in the morning and you need it. But you gotta know you're spending somewhere between $100 to $150 a month just to wake up.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I don't do much Starbucks because I'm not from here. I mean, that's a good thing that I have, but I make coffee at home. I just buy a big, uh, a big thing of coffee and it lasts forever. To be honest, like I probably buy coffee once every 6 weeks or every 8 weeks or something like that. But each Starbucks runs from anywhere from $6 to $10. So if you do the math and you work 12 shifts in a month, you are looking at least 80, 100 bucks per month. That's a bill right there, just some coffee. And let's be honest, most people don't just drink coffee. They just that's dessert right there. Dessert. It's like a lot of milk and sugar and things like that, and you're just getting diabetic at this point.
Now, I ain't saying stop. I'm saying know the number. The second one is gonna be these scrubs. And ladies, don't get mad at me when I say
Oh
this,
my
but
god.
y'all know who y'all are. Some of y'all have enough scrubs to go 2 or 3 months without even having to do a single pair of laundry. And you still
And honestly, the fix, I don't have. I own a pair of Fricks, but only one because a good friend of mine gave it to me. Shout out to Karen as a gift. But I don't own fake scrub. I don't buy them. I don't buy expensive scrubs. I buy them off Amazon, and each pair is like 20 bucks, and I own like 12 of them. So I wash them every 2 weeks. I own like 13 or 14. So single use goes into the hamper. I wash them and repeat. I'm not going to buy fakes unless they sponsor me or something in the because they're like what 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks per pair. And yes, they look good on quality and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I do think that you're paying for the brand, not they sponsor a lot of people, and every nurse creator that's mainstream is probably going to be sponsored by figs, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like they are way overhyped and way overpriced for uh, the medical field in general. If you're a doctor, yeah, that's a different story. You're making more money, but as a nurse, some people just own figs, top to bottom, pants, scrubs, jackets, and socks, and you know all these accessories that go way above your means.
buying new ones. Don't make sense. Hey, I understand. You want to look nice, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to say, enough is enough. Three is going to be eating out every single shift. You start the week with the right mindset. You're like, you know what? I'm going to hit meal prep.
Meal prep, the name of the game.
And sometimes you really do meal prep. Then you get to work and everybody talk about, yo, let's go in on this pizza or let's go in on this Mexican food, whatever the case is. And before you know it, you are spending out more money than you realize. It's some of the biggest financial mistakes that nurses are making right now. It's taking so much money just for being convenient. Now, this fourth one,
Now that meal prep thing doesn't only translate to nursing. Like even if you work in any other field, you're going to be better off just doing meal prep. You're going to be saving a lot of money compared to eating out. And I do get it. There's some people who work 2 jobs and they don't have time, but you gotta work around it because just spending money out of you know every single day on outside, it's just going to be more expensive than cooking at home for sure. 100% of the time, that's not debatable.
shopping on Amazon 3, 4, 5 a.m. That's for these night shifts.
My night shifters,
Your cart do not care. You order it and you ain't even really need it. Like you're not even in your right mind half the time when you're making these orders. Number five, this is the
that downtime during night shift is it's pretty dangerous. Like you can just indulge on things that you're not supposed to be doing, including shopping at 3 a.m. for things that you don't need.
most important one. Upgrading your lifestyle every single time you get a raise. You got a new car, you got a new apartment, you got new clothes, you went on a new trip. Yo, you didn't elevate, you technically moved lateral. Cause yes, you're getting paid more money, but you increased all your bills. It don't make sense. It's
I agree. Honestly, like if you get a raise, yes, you can just give yourself something like a gift or whatever, or even like recurrent payments on something, and just put a percentage of that money into whatever you like to reward yourself with. But don't just spend it all on things and every time that you get a raise or every time you make extra money doing in a shift or you get a bonus or this and that. Think about percentages. Like if you put a small percentage where to say towards savings or an investment, that's going to be better than putting everything just on indulging on things that you want at the time at the moment and that you may not even necessarily need. So that's just food for thought right there.
Will just said the realest thing I've ever heard any nurse on this app ever say. I remember working in the ICU, and I knew I was going back to CRNA school, but still though, I was trying to actively save money working in the ICU. And I lie to you not, I would be so motivated to do it one week. I'd be like, I'm gonna work 7 days straight. I'm gonna save this whole check.
7 days crazy so D. Not gonna lie, that's a lot. I would end up in the hospital if I do seven shifts in a row, for sure. Like I would just be a, I would just be admitted to the hospital straight.
Put it up and only pay my bills, and we're gonna rinse and repeat. And then that first day would just be the worst shift I've ever had in my life. And then money just did not matter no more. I was booking a trip to DC, Houston, California. I didn't care. Like, a one shift can really just knock you off your pivot.
I agree. Sometimes you get a bad shift. Like I don't know, you get so many things, an RT and then an admission or two or in a discharge, and then it just a lot. And then you clock in 20,000 steps in a day, and you feel like crap, and you just try to reward yourself. You say, I deserve it, but you got to stay disciplined. It just, discipline is just going to take you further than anything else.
It's so bad. And it just comes to a certain level of discipline you got to have to really save money. Like, I knew I needed to go back to school because I got to have something to look forward to. I got to have a trip booked for me to even think remotely about saving some money to go and do something.
Now, this guy's still not Edwin. Shout out to him. This guy works himself through the whole ICU thing and then into CRNA. He's in CRNA school right now. I don't know how long he has left, but very inspiring story. And he actually inspired one of his homies to get into CRNA school. Or into nursing school or something like that. So, that's great. And props to him. And he'll be done in no time. And I think he's pretty young. That's really good for him. So shout out to Edwin.
No, I'm not the only one. Y'all know Amani, the student creator that CRNA that just graduated? Y'all seen that first check he got? Oh!
Yeah, that's real. 27,065 hours. That's crazy.
Let me tell you something. According to my calculations, we take 27,000, divide that by a grand total of 65 hours. That's about $417 an hour.
And that's totally possible as a CRNA, believe it or not. I'll show you this example. I think this guy is the one that he's
real rich bitch.
The example.
Real rich bitch.
I think this guy is the one that he's talking about. 24,065 hours. Oh yeah, gross paid, 27,000. Yeah, I think that's totally possible. Let's go into the comments right now real quick. Let me hold 24,000 until next Friday. My daughter's in CRNA school. Let me go ahead and be nicer to her respectfully. Facts. How they only take 3,000 in taxes? Good question. A champ don't play that he gotta catch up. Maybe he's 1099? I don't know. A champ? Who knows? Let me study. You earn people's 1 year salary a month. That's wild. Hold on, let me switch my major. I wish I had a bag of chips. I take Zelle. My card costs for $400. Yeah, that's totally possible. There's this other crazy video that I have from a CRNA locum, which is like a travel CRNA. That's what they call it, locums. Like a travel contract or whatever. Now, this was during the Rona virus thingy that we had a couple of years ago, but still, like, it's crazy money. So let's watch it.
You have here the record biggest check any CRNA has made with us in just 1 month working locums. And that was last month, December 1st through the 31st. As you can see here, this is the invoice.
That's 1 month, $93K.
It breaks it all down. So let's look at this real quick. You have your locum additional weekend hours that he worked, 17,000. Some incentive pay for doing holiday shifts, Christmas Eve. You had Christmas, New Year.
I worked it through Christmas, but he was set for a while. Like, he could just work a month and just get off, stay off for a couple more months. That's crazy. That's 93,000 right there. That's the yearly salary for a lot of nurses right there. And not only nurses, a lot of people. That's insanity. That's the type of money you can make when all the planets align. When it comes to the situation that we had back then with the virus and the market. When it comes to, like, I had a friend, not a friend, like a classmate. I was in school. I was taking pathophysiology, I believe. I was in nursing school back then. She is a phlebotomist, or she was a phlebotomist at the time. I don't know if she graduated nursing school. And she told me that she bought a BMW. I believe it was like an H3 or an H1 model. Those SUVs are like the simpler versions of the BMW, and they go like for at least 30K. I'm not sure about the price, but she said that she bought it cash with all the money that she made during the coronavirus. And I believe it. I believe it because even CNAs were making a lot of money. Phlebotomists, RNs with the travel, people were banking like 100K in 3 months or something like that, which is crazy. And those rates are not there anymore. Like, travel nursing is not where it used to be, but still profitable if you want to go for it. And honestly, that's why I don't pay medical bills. Yeah, I mean, anesthesia is a huge responsibility. You have to go through a lot of schooling. Shout out to the CRNAs and the anesthesia doctors that if somebody can actually cause harm to a patient in a surgery, is the anesthesiologist or the CRNA in this case. Ex-girlfriends, CRNA is ridiculous. They make more than a primary care MD or DO. I agree. Primary care MDs, they don't make as much as CRNAs. Honestly, well, yeah, no, for sure. The math is right there, and you can even make, like, I would say California is like 500,000 or something like that. And I've heard how doctors say, like, oh, the best career to follow is a CRNA because they just work the workflow of an RN, 3 12-hour shifts or 4 10-hour shifts or 5 8-hour shifts, and they just go in and out. They usually their cases and they don't have any of the responsibility. Uh, and then when they're out of the hospital, they're out. They don't get called or anything like that unless you get called. But call is optional at that point. You can just pretty much like make your contract with the hospital, and you can take call if whether you can take call if you want to. That's extra pay, but that's up to you. And I don't really think it's necessary with the amount of money you make, because over here in New York, at least, you start at about 270 280 as a new grad CRNA, and from there you just go up. Like, you can just pick up OT, or with years of experience and things like that, you can just jump into break into the 300K bracket, which is plenty of money. Uh, Especially if you have a household, like each one making that amount of money. I've seen a couple of CRNA couples, right, in social media. I don't remember the names, but must be nice. So yeah, there's a little bit of how it is on the financial side of nursing and what you can do. But if you're smart with money in general, it doesn't matter what you do. You have to live within your means. And honestly, the 50 30 20 rule applies here so well. Um, if you read whatever Dave Ramsey says, like 50% of your income should be devoted to uh, bills, 20% for saving slash investments, and 30% just to spend on anything you want. If you do that for 20 30 years, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna have a good nest egg for retirement and all those things. So take advantage of that match with your 401k. If you have the privilege to have a pension where you work at, even better. Uh, but yeah, be smart with your money. That's the end home. That's the take home message. See you on the next one. Peace.